how the mighty have fallen. So Candyman 3, Day of the Dead tells the story of an art collector who begrudgingly conjures up the spirit of Candyman. Well, this week is the week, everyone. We've got the brand new Candyman sequel slash reboot coming out on Thursday. I'm going to try my best to get to it, but unfortunately I am on day 7 of the Big C. Yep, so you haven't seen videos from me in about a week or so. I've been at home trying to heal up. I'm feeling pretty good now, but I gotta wait till my symptoms go away completely and get a negative test before I decide to go out and venture into the world. So, you might see it Friday, you might see it Saturday. I'll get to it as soon as I can. But we do have one movie that we need to talk about before the brand new Candyman comes out, and that is the third Candyman movie. Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. So I reviewed the first two movies about 2+ years ago, and I did watch this movie with the intent of finishing that review series at that time, but I hated the movie so much that I just couldn't bring myself to even talk about it on camera, and then eventually so much time had passed that I completely forgot about the film. So much time meaning like about 4 days. But now we got the week of the release, so it's time to go back, give this thing a second watch, give it a second shot, see if it's as terrible as I remember, or if it does have some redeeming qualities, and finally talk about it with all of you. So, let's get into it. And unfortunately, a second watch, third watch, fourth watch, however many watches you give this piece of shit is not really going to redeem it at all. This is an absolutely atrocious movie. It's so bad that I feel bad for saying all the things that I did about the second movie. I thought the second movie was an absolutely terrible sequel to a phenomenal original film. This movie makes the second movie look halfway competent. If I was to force myself to give you any positives, it tries to kind of have this through line of mythology with the family of this girl. It's 25 years later, and we'll get into that. It tries to do something to have like this lore-based reason on why our main character is tied up with Candyman and her lineage and what the whole overall plot with, you know, what Candyman wants her for. It gives a valiant enough attempt to try to do something like that, I guess. And overall, throughout the movie, it does give you those kind of Candyman, you know, rundown, Chicago-looking vibes, even though this one takes place in LA, I believe. So it gives you some of those visual cues that you would expect from a Candyman movie, subways and brick architecture and a lot of graffiti. So even though they take it all the way across the country, they do try to bring some of that visual aesthetic back. But unfortunately, you can try all day long. All that matters is how you actually execute it, and this movie is just executed like absolute garbage. I mean, it's just a very cheap-looking, almost made-for-TV vibed movie that just, it doesn't have anything at all to bring to the Candyman franchise. It doesn't bring anything that we have not seen from the other movies. It even repeats beats from the second movie, which isn't even all really that well-known or that well-liked. So it's just, it has absolutely nothing to give you. This has nothing story-wise that you need to know. It has nothing visual-wise that is going to give you any kind of a treat, even if you're a slasher fan. There's nothing. There's no point to ever watch this movie. At the lead of all of that is a main character that you do not care about, that you don't give a flying fuck about, and not even acted well at all. And it's funny, the entire time that I was watching this, and I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but I went, my God, they went out and just found the most cliched, bimboed, blonde, big-titted, Baywatch-looking chick that they could find to just walk around in a little fucking wife beater with her nips poking out for most of the movie, and then come to find out she actually was on Baywatch. So I guess I got that right, didn't I? But she gives you nothing as a main character, gives you nothing as an actress, and for somebody that obviously is proud of her looks, and you know, God bless her for it, the movie doesn't do anything to make her feel like a real person. It literally feels like they took a Baywatch model and just threw it in the front of this movie just to give you something to look at amidst the carnage. And none of the other characters in the movie really give much of a shit either. Nobody's really here to deliver anything. No memorable characters, memorable lines, nothing. Even Tony Todd himself just is sleepwalking through this movie. I mean, if nothing else, you could have gotten a couple of iconic Candyman lines out of this movie, or, you know, that Tony Todd gravitas with his voice, but it's just, literally wash, rinse, and repeat from the other films. I mean, even the lines that they give him is just him saying the same shit that he said for 3 movies now, and it just has no impact anymore.
Be my victim.
And let me just say this, the movie to me even just destroys the allure of the Candyman character. I mean, the first movie was just so brilliant at bringing together this very alluring but intimidating and frightening character that, you know, has his roots in urban legend, and it is very much a ghost, but in a lot of ways he's this powerful figure for Cabrini Green, and he's just a very multi-layered, multi-dimensional villain. 2 movies later, I am pretty much convinced that this guy is just a horny-ass ghost that just wants a blonde piece of ass, because every single movie, he's looking for some gorgeous blonde, that it's all about you, Helen. Oh, never mind, it's all about this bitch now. Oh, we're on the 3rd movie. Nope, it's all about you. You're the one, come with me. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you guys doing to this guy? Like, what is it about this chick now? It was all about Helen before, and he gave reasons for that, and that was something that was earned. Now, 2 movies later, we're still doing the same shit. I mean, when this chick is dead, and eventually they were gonna make a 4th movie that never came to be, thank God, there was gonna be another blonde chick sitting there. It's all about you. And even if you look past that detail, just him as a villain, he's not intimidating in this one. He shows up, he kills characters that you don't care about, so there's no impact. And even in like the big climax of the movie, you know, whenever it's the final showdown between him and Baywatch chick, and she comes in, she knows what she's gotta do, I gotta destroy this painting, and Candyman just stands in the middle of this big ass room. And even whenever she snaps out of his little trance, his little fucking Dracula trance trying to lure her into his little plot, she starts climbing this big ass trash mountain. He has all the time in the world to do anything he wants to do about it with all of his spiritual powers that he's shown us for 3 fucking movies, and he just stands there like, no, don't do it. Please don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. But that's all you got? That's all you got, really? That's for our titular villain of this entire franchise. That's all the fight that he has for the end of the 3rd movie? Fuck you. And something that bugged me throughout the whole movie, too, is that they go out of their way to give you blink and you'll miss it details, by the way, that this is actually the daughter of the character from the 2nd movie, and this movie takes place, you know, 20-something years after that first movie. So if you follow the timeline, that puts it at like 2020, 2021, like today's time. It literally looks like 94. Like, they put no effort whatsoever into the visual aesthetic of this movie or the production design or anything to give even like a 5-year time jump, let alone 25 years. And when you do something like that, it just brings me back to Texas Chainsaw 3D. I'm like, if you're not gonna go there, then why do you write that into the fucking script? That's such an easy detail to amend. Make her mom some random bitch, and then there you go. We don't have to ask that question anymore. But no, you gotta tie everything together because that's all you fucking got, because you got nothing else to give us in this movie worth notating. And now we're in a little bit of a snafu here because you're telling us this is 20-something years in the future and it looks like 94. The one singular moment that this movie was almost onto something. In the 3rd act, there's a point where the main character gets kidnapped by like this Candyman cult. It's a bunch of gothic-looking people that are really into bringing forth Candyman. They want to offer her up as this sacrifice, presumably to go chill with him in the afterlife or some crazy shit. And I saw this scene and I was just like, you know what? The movie's finally starting to get somewhere. Let's see how this plays off. Oh, he just shows up and murders all of them immediately. Yep, that sounds like the thing that this movie would do. There's your sequel right there. Why would you have that in your script and not have that aha moment of like, you know what? A crazy ass cult that wants to conjure up Candyman for this crazy little plot and then unknowingly just unleashes this evil plague across not only everybody in the city, but on themselves. That's a hell of a Candyman idea. And this movie just glanced at it and said, nah, fuck you. All in all, guys, I hate this movie. I'm never gonna watch it again. I pray to God that this new movie is amazing and I can just act like 2 and 3 don't even exist and I can just watch those as the new canon and hopefully however many sequels they bring out of that are good. I despise this movie. Like, there's a lot of bad slasher sequels out there. There is a dime a dozen. There's way more bad ones than there are good ones. This just gets thrown onto that dead-ass pile of shit movies that I'll never watch again. So if you're a fan of Candyman, the character, the lore, anything about this series, just go back and watch that first movie. Do not put yourself through the pain and suffering of this horrible 3rd film. And while a bad sequel is bad enough, a movie that actually degrades the legacy of the titular villain is just too much for me to stomach. So fuck this movie. So what do you guys think of Candyman 3 Day of the Dead? Are you by any chance somebody that likes this movie? Are you by any chance somebody that thinks this is one of, if not the best, of the Candyman films? Maybe use a random account down below to let me know. But yeah, let me know. We'll talk about it. But are you guys excited for the new Candyman coming out this week? Are you checking it out opening night? Are you checking it out this weekend? Are you waiting for VOD? Let me know what your thoughts are on the Candyman series, and hopefully I'll be back to you in 3 or 4 days with a much, much better review. So thank you guys for watching. As always, please like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button so you can check out my thoughts on Candyman this weekend, as well as a series ranking. And as always, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.